Hi guys, this is editorial analysis for 23rd March 2017. Let's go to the first one. This is from the Hindu newspaper. It's just a small commentary. It says that India's HDI Human Development Index rank is 131 out of 188, 131 out of 188 countries. It says that inequalities persist between states and regions in India. Women's participation in labor is lowest amongst BRICS countries in India. We are also the worst on the multidimensional poverty index amongst the BRICS countries. Now, we should eliminate the subsidies for the richest quintile, which amounts to about $16 billion. It was about $16 billion in 2014, and we should use that revenue for universalization of health, public health and education sector. India has not ratified the Convention on Torture and Rights of Migrant Workers and their families and protection against enforced disappearance. So these are the sectors that we have not done well in. That is why such a low rank on HDI index. Let's move on to the next editorial. This is from Hindustan Times. It says that the Uttarakhand High Court, it has decided to recognize Ganga and Yamuna as living entities. It's the first time a court has recognized a non-human as a living entity. And what is the implication of it? It means that now these two rivers will have all the constitutional and legal rights that a human being in India has. And for that reason, these rivers can also be a party to a dispute. Now, this is an extension of the philosophy of allowing a river to flow freely, because that is what is intended in its nature. And any interference like dam takes away its basic and essential character. So that is a very important verdict by the Uttarakhand High Court. Let's move on to the next editorial. It's from Indian Express. It talks about the new draft marine coastal regulation zone. We'll do two important points from this new draft. The first one is that it proposes to remove the ban on reclamation of land in coastal areas for commercial or tourism activities, even in the ecologically sensitive areas. Now, the problem with this is that sand dunes are natural bulwark against strong sea winds and high waters. Mangroves also act against tidal waves. So flattening them will lead to the depletion of the coast's resilience to natural calamities. So that is one problem. The second point of this draft, important one, is that it removes the necessity of environmental clearance for fishing infrastructure and fishing processing units. So that is one important editorial from Indian Express. Let's move on to the next editorial, very important. We have already done some provisions of the new national health policy, draft new national health policy 2017, and we'll do some more points. So here I have included various points from various editorials from three different newspapers, Hindu, Economic Times and Indian Express, into this one long article, and I have written about 13 points. So we'll cover this in about 13 points. The first one is that we have a sustainable development goal of achieving universal healthcare by the year 2030. The second point is that according to this new draft, the government must spend 2.5% of GDP on health by 2025. The third point is the health spending by states must rise above 8% of their GDP by the year 2020, according to this new draft. The fourth point is that it proposes free drugs, diagnostic and emergency services to be provided in all the public hospitals. The next point is that disease control measures are proposed for HIV, TB, hypertension, diabetes, etc. The next point is It also talks about control of indoor and outdoor pollution, sanitation, nutrition, etc. The next point is that it proposes a national health information network to be set up by the year 2025. A national digital health authority would be set up to develop, deploy, and regulate digital health across the continuum of care. We have already done an editorial on a national digital health authority in the past. It also talks about upgradation of district hospitals. So the next point is that it talks about the upgradation of district hospitals to provide elements of tertiary care too. The next point is public health management cadres are to be created in all the states. The next point is that we have to introduce new courses like BSc in community health and MD in family medicine, etc. The next point is that according to this draft, ASHAs can career track to become ANMs, auxiliary nurse midwives. The next point is that services have to be supplemented by not-for-profit private and private providers as well. The next and the last point is that it also talks about integration of Ayush into research, teaching, and therapeutic components of health systems. So these are a few points in addition to the ones that we have already done, I think day before yesterday. I think this much should suffice on this. If there is some new point, then I'll do it in future. If not, if there is just a repetition of this, it keeps on happening, then I'll not do. So that's it for the editorials of 23rd March 2017. Thank you.